We are back at the depot in Sheffield to run through some of the worst training habits we see people doing, but we're going to show you how to avoid them and make the most out of your training.
Oh no!
Bad habit is not warming up your lower body. Now, obviously climbing is a full body sport, but most of the time we see people doing a pretty good job of warming up their fingers, maybe doing some pull-ups, some of these things, but we always see people neglecting warming up their lower body. And here's a perfect example. Hard heel hook, you need those hamstrings engaged, you need them warmed up so that you can be performing properly on this style of climbing. With warm-ups, I usually advise people to find something that works for them so it becomes a bit of a ritual, but there's loads of exercises that we can include. Specifically with hamstrings, we can do some work with TheraBands, you can be doing heel hooks. I love lower body squats like Cossack squats or normal squats, but also a good one is glute bridges.
So another really bad habit, especially when you're trying really hard things, is not resting between attempts. Like even if you're falling off the first move, it's still taking a lot of power out of you, and it's well worth at least catching your breath, chalking up again before having that second go.
Any tactics to help people rest more when projecting at their top end?
Taking a step back from the boulder is a good one, making sure you've read the top again, or just sitting down, taking your shoes off and making sure you've got that time to breathe.
So that one was a bit more subtle, but some of you might have noticed that Jen full crimped every single sloper, or what might be like a pretty wide pinch on this climb. Now, this is something you'll see a lot with climbers that are really dominant to one grip type, and it's a pretty bad habit in training because you're only using the skill set you already have and not trying to make use of different grip types and learn how to use different holds in the most efficient way possible. Now, something I've noticed helping a lot of climbers get through injuries and get back to strength is an injury is a great leveler for people to learn new grip types. Often when that crimp position hurts and you're trying to work around it, you learn how to drag or pinch. Now, you don't need to get injured, and hopefully you shouldn't need to get injured to learn how to use different grip types. So go on the wall, strengthen them in training using the hangboard, but make sure you're using different grip types on different holds so that at least you learn how to use them in different situations. Maybe the full crimp's the best one, but obviously slopers, pinches, there's definitely other grip types that you need to use.
Oh, you can do it better than that.
That's it, done.
Come on, get back on, keep your feet on. That was a shambles. So another habit we see a lot is climbing a problem, you get to the top, you've done it, doesn't matter how badly, and you walk away, it's fine, you've ticked it. This defeats the point of the learning process. Like if you can do a boulder well and nicely, or maybe maintaining tension, you learn so much more from the boulder and the process than just walking away having done it terribly. Beautiful.
Better?
Yeah, much better.
So another really good habit, or a bad habit, would be not working rest positions. So obviously, working the climb and the move is good, but working the rest positions can make the difference between getting up it or down it. And this applies to boulders as well, not just route climbing.
That was great. Hey, Josh, have you tried this one? Come try this with me.
Yeah, go on then. Go on then, Jen.
Way better than circuits.
That's true, that is true.
Yeah.
Circuits do suck. So one of the worst habits which seems to always sabotage someone's training, or at least the effectiveness of their training, is always switching up the objective, always switching up the methods they are training, not sticking to the same thing for a long enough period of time to see that training consolidate, see the gains from that training. It also means things rarely become measurable. The whole point of training for the individual is for over time they understand what works best for them. And if you constantly change things up, you're never going to get a grasp at what really worked for you in the past and how to progress your training.
So what Josh did here was not persevere with one method. Like, he actually looked pretty close on every way. So he just needed to stick at it, try a bit harder, rather than changing the beat at every go just because you've not sent it first try.
Dear diary, I've lost all confidence in my training. I was able to send this board problem last week, but now I can barely do the first few moves. I have to change something. So this really bad training habit is a little bit like what we said earlier, where we've mentioned that if you're constantly changing your training program or changing the sessions, you're not really able to measure your progress or understand if your training is working. But at the same time, if you're keeping things consistent, it's very easy to get frustrated when it doesn't feel like it's working. And we see this with the phenomenon of paralysis by analysis. You're overanalyzing every session. If you walk away from a session which didn't go your way, didn't go very well, you can easily get caught up, quite emotional, and feel like it's falling to bits and you need to change something. Remember to step back. Remember, training is a long process happening over months and years, and that you should keep it consistent and just understand that you want to turn up to the session, get the sessions done. That's the most important thing when it comes to training.
So it's really important with holds like this, slopey holds, and when you climb with people like Josh with sweaty hands, to brush the holds in between attempts. It makes so much difference. Like, you can see the chalks built up on them. If you brush them, they'll be nice and clean. It'll be much easier. If you have soft, sweaty skin like me on your fingertips, keeping your skin dry is really important. Now, a big mistake that you can do is spending time washing up without wearing rubber gloves. However, I've got a sneaky trick to get your gloves off really easily if, like me, your fingers have got a bit fatter over the years. So I hope you enjoyed that video and learnt a few things about what not to do with your training. For more videos like this one, don't forget to check out these videos over here.